Hi friends, I'm Nicholas Acciani. Let's talk backstage. Today, I want to talk about reading a play to find the theme and the playwright's message of that play or musical. So the first thing you do as a director or a designer is read a show just for fun. Go through it, don't try and analyze it, don't think critically of it. Just read it to get an idea of the story and the characters and the world. Have fun with that first read. Then you're going to go back again and read it a second time, and this is where you start dissecting it. And for me, my second time through, I like to really start looking at the themes and the playwright's message and really figuring that out and dissecting those. So to kind of find the theme itself, you want to look at a couple different things. First, what is happening? What repeats itself throughout the show? Are there any motifs, any ideas that come up multiple times? I use Peter and the Starcatcher to teach my directing class how to create a vision, and in that show, one of the things that constantly repeats is the idea of being British. There's a little bit of an air of superiority, and it's kind of made fun of as well at some points. It's like the idea of being a man, like what does that really mean? But that's in there. So that's kind of a recurring theme. The idea of not wanting to grow up, that's a recurring theme, a big one, specifically when you look at the characters of Peter and Molly. One wants to grow up and one doesn't. And where in the original Peter Pan, growing up is seen as a bad thing, in this prequel, you have kind of opposing views on it, which is interesting to look at. This is me actually now dissecting Peter and the Starcatcher. You want to look at the overall action and what is going on in the play and what repeats. You also want to look at characters and the character arcs. Who is growing into what? Peter Pan is growing into himself to becoming that symbol of youth. Molly is growing into herself and growing up and proving that she has the responsibility in her to be an adult. Then you have people like the character of Blackstash. He's a villain looking for his hero, and not in the way of like, oh, I need my hero, save me, but in the way of like, he is a villain and wants that hero to be constantly battling. He's more concerned about the journey than the destination and wants that hero that is willing to give up everything to save the people they love. He needs that back and forth to really confirm himself as the villain that he believes he is. That hero-villain dynamic is a major theme. So you're going to go through and read the play and find things that repeat, find important arcs to characters, and list out all of the themes. I would just go and list out as many as you can find. Then you're going to take it and you're going to weed out all of the ones that are maybe one-offs or moments here and there and find your top 2 to 3 themes that you feel are most important to the script. And then you're going to take those and you want to kind of define what they are. What does it mean to be a hero villain? What does that theme mean? What is the idea of youth? Because it could mean a couple different things. You need to define it for yourself and for the play. After you define what it is, you want to go through and show how each theme is displayed in the script, justifying why you chose it as the main theme. If it only happens once, it's probably not a main theme. But if it occurs a couple times throughout the show, then it's very clearly important to the author, to the playwright. After going through and showing how it's displayed in the script, you want to talk about how it affects society as a whole. And by society, I do mean the world, like the world as a whole. That's what we call a universal theme where it can affect everybody. But you also want to think about things on a smaller scale. Are you in a school? How does it affect your school community? Then think about the town or city that you're in. How does it affect that? How does it affect the state? Sometimes these themes are super personal and they only relate to a small, maybe family unit, but that family unit might relate to another family unit somewhere else or another town or another city. So you don't have to think of like, does this theme affect every single person in this world, but or who does it affect? That's what you kind of want to define for each of these 2 to 3 main themes. And after you've defined that, then you can kind of look through those themes, how they're displayed in the script, how they affect society, what they actually mean. And that kind of will tell you what the playwright was trying to say with writing this show. And then to top it all off, because you are an artist, and the best art is when the artist puts a little of themselves into what they are creating. As a director or a designer, it doesn't matter. You want to put a little of yourself in the show. So take a look at these themes and how do they affect your life? How do they affect you personally? That will elevate what you're trying to do from being a good show to being a great show, because you are now putting a part of yourself into the show that will affect the audience on a more personal level, because it's not just some generic thing on stage. It's not just some kid saying, I want to be young forever. It's a kid through your eyes reminiscing about their youth and what they miss and what they would love to go back and just do again. And putting your personal stamp on it will help explain and show the playwright's message to the audience. That's all I've got on theme and message right now. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends! These videos are made for educational purposes. Hopefully you learned something or reinforce something you may already know. Now, this is just one way to do this, and there may be other ways to do what I've explained in this video, and I would love to hear about those ways in the comments. Just remember to be kind as you share your own experiences and expertise on the subject. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and hit that little bell button to be notified of the next video.